Field to Feast with Jennifer Finley is brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board, Louisiana Crawfish, ask before you eat, and by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, beef is what's for dinner, and by the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, think rice.
Welcome to Field to Feast, where we profile Louisiana and its local ingredients. This morning, we're outside of Iverstine's Butcher Shop. We're gonna head inside and meet up with the folks from the delicious restaurant Beausoleil, where later we're gonna cook some Louisiana beef. How'd you get started in this?
So, I mean, I had to get creative with what I was gonna do at being a mediocre college student. So I went and worked on a few farms and got some experience and then convinced my parents to start a farm.
Well, we have Jeff here from Beausoleil because later on we're heading to your restaurant to cook some Louisiana beef.
For sure.
But you've always been a restaurant that I've known to source locally, that's been an important thing.
We developed a relationship with Iverstine's way early when he was still just farming.
One of your first
customers. Our first restaurant customers.
Yes, and lots of the farmers that have sprung up and been in the community for years, even before we started. But yeah, that's been a big part of Beausoleil forever, is the locally sourced product.
Originally, we were sourcing everything for the shop from our farm, and as we grew and as demand grew, we started reaching out to more farmers, and I think it's made us better meat buyers. So for us, bringing in the whole animal reduces the risk on the farm side, and we can bring that whole animal in here and make use of the whole carcass. So that's our goal here. We're taking all the fats and rendering down and making lards and tallows, taking our bones and making stocks. So our goal is zero waste, to respect the life of that animal back on the farm. We saw how much work that goes into producing that animal, and we want to do everything we can to make use of that whole animal here.
So we're going to go cut some meat?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
I am so excited. What are we about to do? What is this?
So Aaron, our head butcher here, has pulled off the shoulder clod out of a forequarter of a cow, and he's going to show us how to get the flat iron out of there. It's buried under all sorts of muscles, so he's going to get to it.
So the flat iron is on the shoulder?
Yeah, it's going to be right on top of the shoulder blade.
Okay.
This is one of the most difficult cuts to get out of the cow, but as he does it, there's all sorts of other cool cuts that he can find as well.
Like what?
So what he's pulling off right now is going to be our petite tender.
Wow.
It's a nice little grilling cut. It's also called the teres major in like scientific muscle terms, but that's a great little cut for 2 or 3 people.
Oh my goodness.
So the
I'll
way
take that.
we kind of do old school, like European style butchery, where we can get little cuts out like that rather than just doing cross-cut bone-in cuts.
Now, it takes more time to do it this way.
It takes a lot more time,
Okay.
but we get a lot of interesting cuts versus just the 3 or 4 big ones you see in a regular grocery store meat case.
No need to have a lot of marinade with these.
Right, yeah, that's what we get a lot of customers come in and ask, what's a good marinade? And I kind of steer them away from it. Depending on the cut, there are certain cuts that do take a marinade well, but for a good grilling cut, salt and pepper. So he's pulling that shoulder blade off there. You kind of see that paddle bone. And he just kind of
cool.
finds that seam between the joint.
Yes.
And now when he flips it over, you've got that shoulder blade runs right along here, and there's 2 flat irons that are hidden underneath here, and then this one's going to be called your mock tender on the other side of that. This is a really difficult cut to get out. No pressure here. No pressure.
I mean, seriously, this is like surgery at Our Lady of the Lake.
But, good things take a lot of work, and this is, has proven to be not only a lot of our employees' favorite cuts, but it's become a favorite cut of a lot of our customers. And that's what's fun, is getting customers to try new cuts like this.
Yes, because as you were saying, this is tender and flavorful.
Exactly. So anytime a muscle comes from an area where there's a lot of use,
okay,
it builds a lot more flavor. So it gets a lot more blood flow, deposits a lot more minerals in that area from the blood flow. So if you think about a cow and what it does all day, it walks around, moves its neck, its shoulders, and things like that. So it's a muscle that gets used a lot.
Well, this is amazing. You have done this a time or 2.
A couple of times.
One or 2 times.
Yeah. So there is, he's pulled all that silver skin off to where we're going to have a nice tender bite to it. It's not going to have any chewiness throughout.
And this is what I'm carrying over to Beausoleil for
Correct.
today.
Yeah, that's what we're going to be cooking over at Beausoleil today. So
Awesome.
there you go. Those are 2 flat irons. Success. We did it.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. You are the master. Well, we're going to bring this over to Beausoleil now and make some of this delicious Louisiana beef. So stay with us. How did this come to be?
Well, 10 years ago, working at Galatoire's, I came up with an idea to start my own restaurant because I saw an opening where there was not a lot of farm-to-table restaurants in Baton Rouge. There were not a lot of small, fine dining. My wife and I would go to Magazine Street, eat at Lillette, eat at any of those great restaurants that are
I
on
love Magazine Street.
Magazine Street. And so I saw an opportunity to try to recreate that same type of restaurant in Baton Rouge, and that was our goal. I paired up with a chef that, Nathan Gresham, great chef. He was working with me at Galatoire's, and we both decided to start this thing up.
So we're here at the kitchen at Beausoleil, one of my very favorite restaurants in all of Baton Rouge. I'm here with Chef Mike. Chef, what are we going to be doing today?
We're going to be doing a charred steak today, and we're going to be with confit onions and a Madeira sauce.
I'm excited about the charred technique. I haven't done that in a long time.
Yes, ma'am. All we're going to do is really season these steaks real well, get our cast iron extremely hot, and just pretty much just char them up real well, and then make a sauce with our wine.
Well, that sounds delicious. I'm ready. Let's get started.
Yes, ma'am.
What's first?
Okay, we're going to season this steak real well.
Okay, what do we have? Salt and pepper?
Salt and pepper, yes, ma'am, with the little salt and pepper mixture we have. Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's
Season
what
it real
Galen
well.
was saying, was this cut of meat is so delicious. You
Yes,
don't need a
ma'am.
lot more than salt and pepper.
Yes, ma'am. That's all you're going to need, a little salt and pepper. We're going to go ahead and get our cast iron really hot.
It looks nice and hot.
Yes, ma'am. And then we're going to go ahead and sear it down. We want to place it in the pan, going away from us.
So we've just got salt and pepper,
Yes, ma'am.
oil in a cast iron pan,
Yes, ma'am.
and that's all you need
That's
to be
all you
successful
need.
at this steak.
Yes, ma'am. And we're going to go ahead and just give it a nice, good searing going on.
And so today we're going to be charring it. What exactly does that mean?
Charring it just means giving it a hard sear, just to make sure that you kind of seal in all your juices, all your seasonings, and things of that sort. That's pretty much what we're doing. We're just going to give it a hard sear.
Y'all stayed pretty busy with all the takeout during COVID, yes?
Yes, ma'am. As of lately, we've really been getting it in. As of lately, we've been selling a lot of to-go plate lunches that we've been saying. Friday and Saturdays have been our busiest days. But yes, ma'am, we've been pretty much keeping it afloat by with that going on. And now we're going to go ahead and remove these from the skillet.
All right. Look at that. Beautiful.
Excuse me. Right,
You know,
let
with
those
this
rest.
piece of meat, too, it didn't cook down to where it was super thin. It
Yes,
still
ma'am.
has some...
a little thickness to it. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop a couple of confit onions in.
So exactly what does that mean?
Confit onions is just onions cooked in its own olive oil. So we pretty much cooked a little bit of olive oil mix in here, some rosemary, thyme, and a couple bay leaves, and we cook it on a low temperature and
Oh, it
allow
looks-
it to slowly cook and slowly soften up.
That looks delicious.
Yes, ma'am. Then we're gonna add a little bit of Dijon mustard. Yes, ma'am. And this is my Madeira.
All right. And Madeira is what, a cooking wine?
Yes, ma'am. Madeira is a cooking wine that we use from time to time. It's also a drinking wine as well. Yeah. Here we have a little bit of balsamic vinaigrette
Okay. So
And-
far, I have most of these ingredients at home.
and a little bit of chicken stock.
Okay.
Right. Get that going. Now you always gonna add a little salt and pepper to everything.
Yes, season as you go.
Yes, ma'am.
Layer
Season
those
as you go.
flavors.
Correct. So we get it down to a nice little stage so we can do some. We have our steaks here.
Okay.
We want them to be a little bit spongy because we don't want them to come back at us, you know, because we don't want it to be too tough, because if it's a little bit too tough, it's going to be hard for us to cut.
Yes, it doesn't look tough at all.
No,
it
ma'am.
definitely has that give back.
Yes, ma'am. So
Look
we're
how
going to go
pretty
ahead
those look.
and plate these two here.
While we were cooking in the kitchen, we were also using some other local ingredients because you find that important.
Right. So Iverstine Farms has been a partner of ours for about 10 years now. He gave us a nice piece of meat that the chef, Michael Dennis, was able to prepare for you back there. Looks really good.
I'm willing to social distance while you plate it up, but when it's done, the social distance for that plate is right here. I cannot wait to dig in. This is what waits for you here at Beausoleil.
Field to Feast with Jennifer Finley was brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board, Louisiana Crawfish, ask before you eat, and by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, beef, it's what's for dinner, and by the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, think rice.